Massachusetts detective is fired over Black Lives Matter post. Clarissa Fuentes of the Springfield Police Department shared a photo on Instagram of her niece at the Black Lives Matter protest, holding a sign that her colleagues said was offensive. See, this is where people don't seem to they don't seem to be connected to realize what's going on in other parts of the country. How many times are you going to read these type of stories where people end up losing a lot because of something they did, and like a split moment they share something, they use social media, and their whole life is turned upside down. Even today, that woman in Central Park who called police and said the African American man was threatening her life and the life of her dog just because he told her to put the dog on a leash. Now I saw on TV in the news that she's being charged. I think it's a third degree, something like that. Calling 911, filing a false report. I guess there's a law for everything. First, the police, deputy police, was saying, well, we have bigger fish to fry. We're not going to bother with her. But I think the problem with this is that they wanted to make a statement and say, look, you can't go around doing stuff like this. If you look back and see incidents of the past, like for example, 23-year-old black guy in Aurora, Colorado. Somebody called the police, said he looked suspicious. He was wearing a black mask. He had just come out of a convenience store. Police came up to him. He was fine. Next thing you know, he's dead. Yeah. So these are the kind of things that happen. The boy who was with a toy gun, Tamir Rice, Cleveland, Ohio. Somebody called the police instead of saying, "Hey, kid, why are you playing with that gun? Is that gun real or something like that?" No, they didn't do that. They called 911. You know, so they didn't go up to him and say, "Hey, you know, is that a real gun?" No. Call the police. The next thing you know, police came out, shot him dead. Black guy walking with a rifle. I think it was one of these antique rifles. Somebody called. Black man walking on the street with a gun. 911 operator gives the dispatch, changes it. Next thing, the cop walks up behind him and shoots him dead, not even giving him a chance. So, there are many more stories like this. People have to be careful. And in that case here, so there's this relationship with the police. And this is why you have the Black Lives Matter protests and so forth going on. So back to this cop, you have people who use social media like Twitter that make statements. And the only person, by the way, who seems to be getting away with a lot of crazy stuff is Donald Trump, who happens to be the sitting president of the United States at this moment that I'm speaking. He makes a lot of outrageous comments on Twitter, and they let him slide. Whereas if it's me or you, we'd probably be suspended or banned. There are a few people who said some things or did some things, and they were banned from Twitter. Donald Trump breaks all the rules, which is really unfair. And Twitter is saying, well, we can have a conversation. They don't want to get rid of him. No, he should be either suspended or banned. That's the way the law should apply to him too. So back to this lady here, Clarissa Fuentes Wright receiving her badge from Cheryl Chaprude, the police commissioner in Springfield, Massachusetts, at the police academy graduation last year. And this article is dated July the 5th. A police detective in Springfield, Massachusetts said she was fired after sharing a photo of her niece at a Black Lives Matter protest on Instagram. The detective, Clarissa Fuentes, requested her niece's photo. Reposted her niece's photo, which featured two people holding signs. One sign read, "Who do we call when the murderer wear the badge?" The other sign implied that people should shoot back at the police. Now, how crazy can you be? you are a police officer and you're gonna report something like that? You know, I mean, really now. People not really thinking. Um, so Mr. Weathers Teddy joined the Springfield Police Department in July 2019. That's about a year ago, 2019, and now we're in July 2020. And was promoted to detective in the spring, which is very unusual, by the way, you know, to go from a new police officer and to become a detective. She shared the post to support her niece and the movement as a whole, not as an endorsement of violence against the police, she said on Saturday. Now, let me just make a point here. To become a detective is not really that easy, you know? You really got to work your way up. So, obviously, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that there were people who were jealous or probably were angry, you know, that this woman, you know, I mean, she's a new cop and you become a detective. Oh, some here in New York City, some cops do become detectives, but when they're dead, like some police officers who die in the line of duty, and then you know, after their funeral or what have you, the police commissioner promotes them posthumously to detective. In other words, then, what I'm trying to say is that to become a detective, you have to really work at it. You have to really go out there in a limb and work your butt off. So she probably had some people who were envious of her and figured, well, she didn't deserve it. Let's see, because you don't. I mean, I never worked with police force, but I'm aware how the system is. You don't become a detective like that. you get you get promoted. You take a test or what have you. The promotion, you know, like there was this woman cop. She was in a barber shop one time. Guy came in, tried to rob the place, and there's a black woman too. And she was able to stop the robbery, shoot him. She got promoted. See, that's the way it was. Like bravery, then you got to show sign of bravery. And she got promoted. Chances are, if that incident didn't happen, she probably might have never been promoted to detective. The detective is not that bad. You're not like the regular police out there. It's different. You're trying to solve crime, not not like a regular cop observing what's going on or being called to the scene. You show up when things happen. If there's a robbery or murder, depending if you work in homicide, then you show up. So they're very skilled in what they do. So a job like that, some people probably would be more than envious. So let's go on. But after she shared the post as an Instagram story late one night last month, Ms. Fuentes woke up to messages from colleagues warning her about possible consequences. You have a lot of haters. You're going to get in trouble, she recalled one co-worker telling her. Her quick advancement through the ranks after she asked for a different shift so she could care for her three children drew some criticism, see, from fellow officers, she said. Right? So there was criticism right there, which is true, well-deserved criticism. You know, you want to take care of your three kids. People look at it this way. You know, if you go on a job and you take a job, and you usually when you starting out, you get probably like the worst. That's the way it usually works. You know, they give you like the worst or what have you. I remember one time years ago, many years ago, I worked at one of these nursing homes. It was new. It was an orientation class, and there was one nurse. She came from Russia. I don't know how long she's been in this country, but anyway, they they gave us a list. They tell us, look, we want you to pick which shift you want. To me, I didn't really care because as a man, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. I can work the night shift, I could work the evening shift, I could work the day shift, and that place is on an island, so it's not that easy to get to. you know, so um, I don't remember whether I put any shift or what have you. I think maybe I put the evening or something like that. Anyway, the Russian lady, the Russian nurse, they gave her the night shift. Yeah, that means she has to come in for midnight. And I think she had like two kids, two girls, two young girls. And they gave me the day shift, right? That means I could sleep in my bed, get up in the morning, go to work as normal, have a nice sleep. And by the way, not everybody's cut out to work nights. You know, not everybody's cut out to work nights. A lady once told me that she used to work nights, and it it used to drive her like crazy, like she was out of her mind. And one day she was walking down the street, and somebody ran up to her and gave her one of her shoes. Yeah, and she looked down. She didn't even realize she walked out of her shoes. That's how out of it she was. She didn't even realize she walked out of her shoes, walking in the street, out of her shoes because of the night shift. Night shift just couldn't. She couldn't deal with night shift. But anyway, the Russian girl said to me, "Why they did that? Why they give you the day shift? You're a man. You can work the night shift, evening shift, and they gave me the night shift." I said, "Well, I told you that's how it works. If you put in for something that you really want, this is how these people play games." And I told her that before. I said, "Listen, when we put in," and I said, "what you have to do is you put the opposite. If you put the opposite, they probably give you something different from what you put. This is how they are." And it was true. She put in for the day shift. They gave her the night shift. I think I might have put in the night shift and they gave me the day shift. So they switch it around. So this is how it is. But getting back to this story here, if you're a new cop and you come on and other people working there, they don't want to hear your story about you got kids at home and you you want the hours to be set in a way that you could take care of your kid. People don't want to hear that. They figure, look, you took the job, you know what you're getting into, and that's it. You know, and so and worse, and then she ends up getting this promotion here. So she said here, let me go on. "I did not share the photo with any malicious intent, and I should have thought about how others might perceive it," she wrote. This is her right there. Officer Fuentes from left. Now, some colleagues were supportive while others criticized her post. One co-worker asked Ms. Fuentes to please stay as far away from me as you can, adding that Ms. Fuentes was either too dangerous or too stupid to safely associate with. That comment received 17 likes, and Ms. Fuentes deleted the apology. Ms. Fuentes' post in support of the Black Lives Matter movement differs from the photos and social media posts shared by other officers who have been fired in recent weeks for messages that have included racist statements or images. 3 officers in Aurora, Colorado were fired last week after posing near a memorial for Elijah McClain, 23, right? I mentioned this guy, in which they appeared to be making light of his death after a police officer placed him in a chokehold last year. Somebody called the police on him. See? He was walking down the street minding his own business in Colorado. Somebody called the police, and he ends up dead, just like the white woman in Central Park called the police, said her life is being threatened by an African American man, which is not true. You see, so this is the kind of systemic racism we've been talking about. You know, where a lot of white people feel entitled, they can just call the police and the police will side with them. And unfortunately, in this country, that's how many times the police behave, depending where you are. The police may behave that way and just side with that person who called against you. So Joseph Gentile, National Vice President of the National Association of Government Employees, which represents police officers and other public employees, posted on the Facebook group that he hoped people will judge her by what she does going forward, and asked the department to please focus on staying united so we can stay safe. Ms. Fuentes said she met with supervisors at the department, including the commissioner. She said they expressed disappointment at the Instagram post, but understood that she regretted sharing it. Why, lady? Why did you have to share that? I mean, really. Simple things like that, you affect your life. Why? The commissioner, Cheryl Claput, had helped to promote Ms. Fuentes to detective after she asked for different working hours. See that? The commissioner went out on a limb for her and made a detective. You know, promoted a detective. Who the hell gets promoted to detective when you're not even 1 year in the job? So of course people are gonna be either envious, jealous, or just hate you. Though Ms. Fuentes said the workplace was hostile, with colleagues shunning her after sharing their criticism in the Facebook group. She thought the episode was behind her. She soon heard that the mayor, Dominic Casano, was upset about a post. Ms. Fuentes said she received a call on June 19th from Mr. Gentile, who told her she could resign or be fired, and that she needed to make a decision that day. Hours later, she turned in her badge and gun after being fired. Ms. Fuentes' niece was not immediately available for comment. Commissioner Clapp Prude could not be reached, but confirmed the firing to the Republican, a Springfield newspaper, saying the termination was her decision. Mr. Sano could not be reached for comment, but he told Western Mass News that Ms. Fuentes' post violated the city's social media policy. He referred to the 2017 firing of Springfield police officer who posted, "Ha ha ha ha, love this. Maybe people shouldn't block roadways," after a man drove into a crowd of demonstrators protesting a white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. A 32-year-old woman, Heather Heyer, was killed, and James Fields Jr., a white supremacist who was driving a car, was sentenced to life in prison. That's another stupid thing, you know. I mean, a young guy is so angry, drives a car and somebody kills somebody. Now you end up with life in prison. You know, another waste right there. For what? Mr. Stano said the post was similar because they were both derogatory comments. Ms. Fuentes, a single mother of 3 children, 2 of whom are black, said being without a job has been difficult with 3 mouths to feed, and that she would return to work at the department if given the opportunity. "I took this job to give back to the community, to the city that raised me," she said. "If I could get my job back, I would take it in a heartbeat." See, so let this serve as a lesson, people. When you're about to share something, Twitter or what have you, Instagram or what have you, that you know could be controversial, and you have a job, just don't do it. You know, just don't do it. Yeah, I mean that last sentence right there, where um, she said, "I took this job to give back to the community, to the city that raised me." She said, "If I could get my job back, I would take it in a heartbeat." So here she was. I mean, new police officer, became a detective, and you lost your job over something stupid, you know? And she has 3 children, no job, and right now, the way things are, a lot of people are without work. Yeah, look at the unemployment. I think it's like 14.1%, something like that. Unemployment rate, millions of jobs lost. We're still in the pandemic, you know, and those kind of jobs come with benefits like police officer jobs. You know, you rarely get laid off like that. The cities where they really have to be in really financial crisis to be laid off. And then you get your health care. You have kids, especially if you have kids. You get your health care plan that comes with it. You get your vacation time, all that kind of stuff like that. So this lady really blew it, and I'm sure she knows it, and that should be a lesson. And this is why I mean, not to beat up on her, but I'm making this video that people should think twice before you go and post something in social media that could come back to bite you. Because this isn't right. I mean, from what I didn't see the picture, but from what I could surmise, the idea that you posting something, about how do you deal, talking about the police, if the police is the murderer, how do you deal with them or shoot them or what have you? I mean, really, if you're a police officer, you're supposed to know better than to forward something like that. And even if you are a police officer, that's not something you're supposed to agree with anyway. you know, if if the police is the man or the murderer or what have you, there's a way. Even though, okay, you may not believe we get justice in the system or what have you, but you know what? You go through and try and use the system, as bad as it may seem to be, or or get people in the community, or civil rights leaders, or people like that, like what's going on right now, and get some of the loudmouths out there to talk on your behalf. That's the best way to do it. Not shooting back at the police if they haven't been the murderer. That's the way. Look at right now. Look how many cops been fired. Cops fired in Atlanta. Cops fired in Aurora. Cops are being fired. And never before in my life have I seen so many cops being fired in such a short time. Usually, what happens is that they do these investigations. Takes about probably 9 months, and they figure, well, if we drag out an investigation, um, like the one, for example, in where the man was shot in the parking lot outside Wendy's in Atlanta. I saw one of the police officers saying there's supposed to be an investigation. These cops were fired just like that. No investigation. An investigation what? You have like it's not there were several cameras. There was a camera of somebody who was taking picture who hadn't been there. Camera from the Wendy's, camera in the lot. There cameras all over the place showing different angles of what was going on. Even the body cam the cop was wearing. Different videos from different angles showing the guy ran and he turned around. The guy was definitely drunk because that's why the cop was arresting him because he was drunk. So drunk when people are drunk, they're not really in the right state of mind. That's one thing to consider. When somebody's drunk, you're not dealing with somebody like me because right now I'm not in the right state of mind. I'm not drunk. You see, somebody who's drunk, they're not thinking right. They may be liable to do something stupid. So he grabbed the taser. He was running with it. He turns and fires the taser. I mean, come on. The cop has your car. The cop knows where you live. All that, and you shooting a taser at the cop. Don't you think that's stupid? I mean, how many people in your right state of mind are going to do that? Not too many people. Knowing fully well, if you make it back home, sooner or later there'll be a knock on your door. The police will come on your door to arrest you. And that's what should have happened. Instead, the stupid cop decide, oh, he's running, he fired a taser, he's running away, I'm going to shoot him in the back and kill him. When the man just told you he celebrated his birthdays, I mean his daughter's birthday party. Do you really want to kill somebody who just told you, who just had a lengthy conversation with you, that he celebrated his daughter's birthday? You really want to kill somebody like that and remove them away forever, permanently, from their daughter? They'll never see their daughter go to go to school, go to junior high, go to high school, maybe even college. They'll never see that. Do you really want to do that? This is what it's so outrageous. Little things like that some people get killed for, which didn't really have to be. So he fired a taser, he didn't hit you, and he's running away. And those tasers, you can't just keep firing like a gun. He runs away. So, okay, let him run. It's like it's like they don't think that the police can come and knock on your door, right? Police go and knock on people's door. you know, if you commit a crime or you break away from the police, sooner or later there are probably like two cops or more knocking on your door, or probably come in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and knock on your door when they know you're home. So that was so outrageous. But anyway, one of the cops was saying, well, he shot he shot the taser. So that's it. No, a taser is not really considered a deadly weapon. A taser is not like a gun. That there should be an investigation. You have all the cameras. You see everything. What an investigation. So this was clearly stupid that this lady did, and obviously this changed her life forever. You see, Now you're gonna have to go out and get a job. What job are you gonna get? You know, a security job at maybe at Walmart or someplace like that. If there's one in Springfield, Massachusetts, that's really sad. You know, people ought to think or give up social media. Just don't be posting stupid comments.